Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Under Contract podcast. We are back from over a year-long hiatus. I was telling Colton here that we just got the new office here, and I have room in my office to have the podcast again. I had a child, and bringing strangers into the house wasn't the most ideal thing with a young and growing family. So welcome back. This is, like I said, our first episode in a while. I'm joined here by my friend Colton Rembert. We've talked a lot on social media.
And DMs on Instagram.
And we've actually never met in person until right this second. So yes, scoot up and can you talk into the, there you go.
Thank you for having me.
As Joe Rogan says, keep it about a fist from your face.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. So tell us a little bit about, you're a mortgage lender, but, the company you're with, how long you've been in the business, just kind of a little bio about you.
Yep. So I am a mortgage broker here in Houston, work all over Texas. I also do a little bit of investing, so a little bit of flips, wholesale, stuff like that, right? But the core of my business is absolutely mortgage. So I've been in it coming up on 6 years now, and I think we're coming up on our 400th transaction for mortgage. So we're rocking and rolling there, but I'm definitely still in the investing side of things. But the company I'm with for the mortgage side is Guarantee Mortgage. We're just a small broker shop. There's I think there's 6 of us now, so smaller, more personal company, but I love it.
Yeah. So when you say you have like a team?
Yeah. So, we have, it's really just 3 or 4 big originators, right? And then we have a couple processors and then, a couple transaction coordinators. So it's not like this big giant team. It's really, like I said, 5 or 6 of us.
Right.
Yeah. So processors that's the team.
So like people always will tell me like, hey, is there anything I can do for you and your team or like your brokerage or anything like that? And like the way things are going nowadays, things are so different than they used to be, right? Where used to you were at a brokerage and everybody had an office and everybody, like when I started in 2017, that's how it was. Like we were on a big corner in Pasadena, big storefront. People would walk in and be like, I want to sell my house. And whoever was in the office would get the deal.
The lead, yeah.
And dude, I remember, I guess it was, so you started like right in the middle of COVID.
Dude, I got in at the best time possible, and I really had like little to no intentions of getting into this business, which is crazy.
Same with me.
Yeah, it just kind of showed up, right? I was at A&M, and a couple buddies I knew up there, his dad owned this mortgage company, and it was kind of like, okay, pick up some side work. I'll go process these loans, right? And, one thing led to another, and I started actually originating a couple of these deals and doing a lot of refinances, like a ton of refinances. And that's where I made the decision, like, I'm leaving school and I'm
Dang, you left?
I left school. Yeah, and I did this full time, never looked back. Yeah.
I mean, I got a business degree that I didn't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was kind of like the same thing. I mean, I was just, so at that time that was what, 2018, 19, 20?
That'd have been 19. 19.
And you're how old now?
I've just turned 30.
Okay. Yeah. So you were, 22, 23?
23, yeah.
Yeah. So I graduated from Texas State and I did construction management for a little bit, building townhomes, and just quickly realized like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I was, for as little insight as I gave stuff back then, I kind of was just like, okay, I'm 23. I'm young enough to where I could pivot and I have 10 years to figure something out. Like, still pretty young, right? So my family owned a boat and RV storage in Alvin. So I went and did that for a while. But while I was there, I was like thinking like, okay, what do I want to do? And my mom had always just said like, you should get your real estate license. And I was like, why? Like, and then just kept thinking about it. And it just got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to try it. I don't know. So I got my license, and the only agent I knew was the agent I used to buy my house. And I went and talked to him and started at his office, and it just kind of all, like the first year, I think I did 14 deals, and which was good.
It's a lot for a first year.
Yeah. So here we are 10 years later. I can't believe
10 years in the business.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You've been at it for a while.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, but you don't even, and I don't even really either. I don't think. I was on the phone with Elaine Marak. I don't know if you've ever talked to her. She's been in she was like, I've been doing this for 30 years or whatever it was. But she goes, you've never even seen a normal market. And I'm like, I guess she's probably right.
Yeah.
We had such a sharp shoot up of transactions in 2020, 21, 22. And then that all caught up to us. And now, things are doing what they're doing now. And I'm sure you're going to see a lot of the same thing I'm seeing where, people that didn't build their business the right way are going to have a tough time.
Yeah, I have already noticed that a lot of people are being weeded out, especially in my business. Because the ones that just, maybe they relied on leads or like company produced leads or refinance transactions. Like, it's just not sustainable. You have to have actual business partners to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I feel bad for the people that didn't do that, but for people like me, it's been great because so many of these agents I talk to, like, I had this lender and they're out of the business. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
And I tend to do business with people I like, right? Yeah. So like that, I'm in I don't know if you know who Ricky Carruth is. I'm in his coaching program.
Yeah.
And it's, me and agents all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think, man, we're up to quite a few agents now, but one of his core tenets is relationships over transactions. Yeah. And like a good example of that is like, say, you could be the number one agent in this city, but if the seller's niece or nephew's an agent that just started, they're going to get the listing.
Yeah, no
like
competition.
Relationships have so much power. So like if you build it organically that way, that's the way to do it. And real estate can be like, you can get the junk food, which is like the Zillow leads, which is like, they come in, you were just some agent that they accidentally ran into.
You're a workhorse. You process a lead. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. And then at the end of the transaction, there's no like real, and like, unless you build a relationship during the transaction, which they just look at you as like a means to an end, I would think.
Pretty much.
And I did Zillow for a little bit and it was terrible. I don't know if some people have had success with it, but like, things are changing so much now where I don't think the leads are the quality that they used to be.
No, and like I've noticed too, because when I had a couple agent partners, I guess it's been 2 or 3 years since I've
Can you scoot up to the mic a little bit?
Yeah, there's a couple agent partners that I did do that Zillow split with. I helped them and it was not a real relationship with those agents. And as soon as the money got cut off, there was no more partnership. Mm-hmm. Right? Never heard from them again. And that's when I decided, it's not for me. I don't really need to do that. Right? I can go out and form these real relationships with people and repeat customers. Right? You do a good job and they come back or they send their friends and their family.
Yeah.
So, and from like a business standpoint too, just how expensive it is.
Dude.
Oh my God.
I used to know a guy that spent $5,000 a month on that.
Oh yeah.
And that's nothing. I've heard of like way beyond that.
There's a guy, I'm not going to put his name out there, but I just closed a deal with him like 2 weeks ago. He's a bigger agent up in the Woodlands, $14,000 a month.
I've heard 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like big teams and stuff.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Crazy.
I mean, dude, you have one down month and like, I don't know. That's not my thing. I like to run pretty lean.
It's a different business model.
Yeah.
What it is.
I kind of pay for things that I absolutely need, and then everything else is just me, my relationships, and my leverage.
100%.
Because I don't know. I don't want to make $100,000 a month every month, but spend 75 of it on. Like, I would rather just have like a bottom line. Like, it's all about the bottom line for me. Like, I don't need awards. I don't need the accolades anymore. I'm just to that point where like. EXP,
you stop caring.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna send you your award." And I'm like, "For what?" I'll put it over there with the rest of my Remax awards in a closet. It's just like, it doesn't matter.
And part of it's like, some of these like it's like participation awards, for like people that are just skating by. It's like I don't really care about that. I'm the same way. At the end of the day, bottom line, like, what am I making out of my business?
Real Trends emailed me. They're like, "Hey, your recognition is waiting. Which award package do you want?" And you have to pay for your award. So I don't know. It's one of those things where like when you first get in the business, you get like a couple of them and you're like, oh hell yeah. Like I made it, I guess. And then you realize, then you kind of see behind the curtain.
Right.
So anyway, but we got a few topics we'd like to touch on today for everybody. You know, when are we going to get the 3% rates back? When is this? When is that? And you know, the market. How is the market? Is the first thing people ask me whenever they see me. Like if I run into someone at a restaurant, hey, how's the market? And that's a loaded question right now.
Yes,
very loaded, because I'm having the best year I've ever had. But I have been saying, and I feel like I'm just like repeating this over and over again, I'm doing the best I've ever done as far as transactions go, as far as volume goes year to date. But every deal feels like a boxing match. Mm-hmm. It's like getting buyers and sellers to get on the same wavelength is very tough this year.
Definitely, because the market's changed. It's changed. But like, you know, you having your best year, I think that comes down to, it's just hard work. People are still out there buying and selling. You know, there's still deals to be had. Your mentor, Ricky, he says something.
Closings happen every single day and they will happen every single day until the end of time.
Yes. So you have to be there to facilitate those deals.
Yeah. People complain like, oh, nobody's doing anything right now. Go to your hot sheet. Look at what closed. There's closings.
There's people out there absolutely crushing it.
Oh yeah.
Killing it. You know, so it's just, I think it's an excuse for some people.
Well, and if you're in the industry, whether you're in mortgage or real estate or whatever it is, if I could go back and get a coach day one, oh dude, because you get caught in this mindset of, I don't know, like I'm by myself a lot. So I'll go down like a mental rabbit hole, and then I'll have to pull myself out of it. Or then like on a Monday, we'll have our Diamond Plus, our coaching calls every Monday. Mm-hmm. And then somebody will be like, they'll just tell a story about what happened that week. And I'm like, okay, they're crushing it. Like it's not the market.
Why can't I do it?
Yeah, like you totally can. So like being surrounded by winners like that has been a real game changer. But, like I was saying, you know, how's the market? It's a loaded question. Like I tell people it's the right homes will sell at the right price, but not super duper fast.
Right. Price always sells. But I mean, you know, my industry is a little bit different. It's definitely, you know, transaction wise, it's slower, right? Because we don't have the refinance business. But for me, the same as you, purchase business is up, way up, you know? But as far as rates go, again, that's a loaded question too. It's just, you have to be able to make these people comfortable with what they're buying as far as like a payment and down payment goes, different loan products, right? And I feel like that's what it comes down to, is explaining, you know, these payments that they're getting into, and maybe, you know, what a quarter point would do or a half a point on a refinance possibly, and they feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I don't really believe rates are going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't either. And I was telling someone the other day, it's like, you know, the Fed came out yesterday and said they're going to hold steady. And like all the comments it was on Yahoo Finance, which is a cesspool, by the way. Stay off their Instagram. It's like terrible. But all these people were like, oh, you know, like more opportunity for the oligarchs to rob all the common people. And I'm like, here's the deal. I don't think we need, my personal opinion, and what do I know, but I don't think like a big rate reduction would be good for the overall economy right now.
No.
The war, I'm not even going to go there. I was about to say something. I'm not even going to go there. That caused inflation, right? Mm-hmm. So like the last thing we need is more inflation.
Right.
So it's a teeter-totter. Like you want higher rates, you're going to get lower inflation. You want lower rates, you're going to get more inflation. So it's all, the Fed is constantly doing this. Like they're trying to.
It's a dance.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balance. And that's why, you know, people ask me every day, you know, like when are these, you know, 1% lower? Like when can we refinance? Or, you know, what's the best rate you can get me? You know, do you think rates will be better in a week or two? And I'm like, no. Mm-mm. They're not going to be, because like this thought of you're going to wake up one morning and there's going to be a % cut off of your interest rate, it can't happen. Because like you said, inflation goes through the roof, then they got to raise rates, kind of douse the fire a little bit. So it's just.
And you know, this brings up one of the questions on on this list, and I'm going to get right into this, but I really have learned a lot by working with, when you work with all different types of clients. Like, one thing I really have noticed is the people who truly understand how money works, the rate is like, they're not worried about it because they know, and classic realtor saying, marry the house, date the rate. Yeah. But they're not worried about the rate because they know that that's like the rates go up and down and you can refinance later, or it's not a set in stone permanent thing. So they don't look at it as like, I'm dedicating to this rate for 30 years. And they understand kind of what moves rates and what's behind all that stuff. Right. But, like we were saying, say if one of the things I was going to ask you, what if rates went to 5% today? You know what would happen?
If you want rates at like conventional rates at 5%, inflation's got to be at like 2%.
Yeah. So inflation would, I don't want to say like spike, but it would go up. So if rates hit 5% today, there would be so many people shopping for houses that day. We'd be back into the bidding wars. Yeah. Prices would go up. So it's like, it just really comes down to like, do you need to buy a house or not?
Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Right. Are you comfortable with the payment? Right. And that's just personal preference.
I think it's hard to get, people don't want to accept where prices are now.
Yeah.
I don't. Sometimes I don't. Yeah. It's hard because I bought my first house in 2014 for $155,000. Like a pretty nice 1,700 square foot 3-2. Like, it kills me that young people now don't really have that opportunity. They just don't. It's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like, I have noticed these first-time home buyers, they're strapped. When it comes to payment and like these debt to income ratios, they're thin. Mm-hmm. They're very thin. Mm-hmm. And a couple years ago, most of these deals that I were closing, like, I noticed these debt to income ratios were in between like 28 and 40, somewhere in there, right? Now they're like 49, 55. Like, these people are getting squeezed for sure. But that has a lot to do with the prices of these homes.
It does. A starter home is $300,000 now. Yeah. A starter home used to be, I remember when I got in the business, a decent house was $100 a square foot. An outdated house was $80 a square foot, and like a super updated nice house was like $120 a foot.
Yeah, what's it? 140 now? 150 for like a resale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like $200 a foot is. Wow. Yeah. But I remember like $100 a foot was like a very easy. I could be like, oh, how many square feet is it? Like, they'd be like, what do you think this house is worth? How many square feet is it? 1,600. It's got these updates, 160, 170, just because it was times 100.
Yeah, that's crazy. You can't even really build for 100 a square foot now.
No. Yeah. Over 200 in a lot of cases.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel for these people. I think we're headed in the right direction, though. It's just going to take a while to get there.
I don't see what could get. If you look at historically where we are transaction count wise, this is the hardest it's ever been to be a realtor for sure. Mm-hmm. And then on y'all's end too. It's the same industry but different. Not different clientele, but like people are coming to you for different reasons than they're coming to me. Like, you have refi people and different things going on. But like in 2008, when the world was collapsing, I think we were around the 4 million transaction range, somewhere in there. Okay. So like, we're back there right now.
Really?
But if you look at what the population was back then compared to now, there's way more people now. So same amount of transactions. So it's actually worse.
Yeah.
So like transactions per capita are worse than 2008.
Yeah. See, that's a little scary, but it's funny how like you're having your best year to date, so am I. It's just, like he said, transactions are going to happen every day, no matter what. You just got to go find them and make it happen. So
let's see. How many real estate transactions were 2008 let's see. I meant to say 2008, not 2007. I want to just fact check myself here because, okay, so for 2008, wow, chat. Okay, 2008, 4.12 million existing home sales. 2025, 4.06. Wow.
That's crazy.
Okay. And then, yeah. So then what was the population then versus now? Let's see. So we've got 36 million more people. So 12% more people with less transactions. So, yeah, like, why is it so tough out there right now?
There's your answer on the market.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. I knew it was around those numbers, but that's crazy. So that shows you right there, like, it's bad.
It's bad, but it's a good time to be a buyer.
It is. There are definitely deals out there to be had. Mm-hmm. I just made a video yesterday about Galveston, and I did another one. I kind of wanted to do the same one that I did last year, but I updated it with new numbers and put it out there. And I had this guy call me. He's like, "Hey, I saw your video. I'm an attorney up here in da-da-da-da-da, and we have a house in Sea Isle, and they're hitting us for $1.6 million on the appraisal." I'm like, people down there are struggling. I don't know if you ever do deals down there, but they are having a tough time.
I'll do some like mortgage deals down there, but as far as investing goes, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. Galveston terrifies me.
Yeah. And then I had another guy DM me, and I actually posted it on my story. I redacted everything that would ever identify him, but he said, "Yeah, we had a beach house in Terramar." So I said, "What made y'all sell?" And this is a classic Galveston situation. I guess we're like the other million people who bought a house in Galveston and ended up trying to Airbnb it. We lived in another city, and we knew a bunch of people with houses in Galveston. So we bought one, but we ended up moving out of Texas to another state and never went to the beach house. Airbnb was always just a backup plan, and it sucks. It's an awful business, and it took us over 2 years to get rid of that house. I finally sold it to a neighbor's friend, and I didn't know the neighbors, but apparently he was a realtor and had a friend who wanted to buy it. Lost an assload of money on that house. That's the story, LOL. And like, that's the resounding story I hear over and over again from Galveston.
Yeah, I mean, that's all due to COVID and these crazy inflated home prices. I mean, do you think it's like that in all these coastal markets, or just?
So I know like Cape Coral, Florida is just it's like the same thing over there. You ever looked at Cape Coral on a map?
No.
So it's like this, dude, it looks like a lattice, meaning it's got these canals that are cut like way up, like miles inland. So you could have like a house with like a boat and then like take your boat out of the canal and then go out and like into the actual ocean. But like, dude, it would probably take you an hour to get to the actual water just going through the canal. Like, it's crazy canal frontage in there. But dude, I mean, insurance and Florida's property taxes aren't as bad as ours, but insurance costs, I had one yesterday that fell out of contract, and we thought the buyer got laid off, but my seller was like, "Did he really get laid off, or did they get their insurance quote?" And I'm like, that's something that you have to, like, especially like say Seabrook area, like southern part of Harris County. Like, I'm sure you see it all the time where that insurance quote that DTI is different after that.
And the taxes.
Yeah.
You know, because like a lot of the business that I do is like in the city of Mont Belvieu. Our tax rate's like 1.7. It's nothing.
Gee, yeah.
You know, and so I'll do a couple of deals over here, and I mean, y'all are what, 3%? Hovering around there.
Yeah, I got to be around. I'm somewhere a little under 3. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get the insurance quote on top of that, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive. But I mean, back to your point for the Airbnb. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. These people probably got updated insurance quotes, and their profit's gone. You know. Yeah.
So you do investing, but you don't mess with Airbnbs?
The reason I'm asking you is because I'm thinking about getting into it. I've got one that I'm very close to putting under contract. It's just I'm having a really hard time making it make sense. Just because it's a lot of money invested, right? And you know, with the amount of money you put into one deal to go do 4 or 5 elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, is it the right time? I don't know, but I watch your videos, right? Especially the Galveston one, because the Airbnb I'm looking at it's a coastal property, not in Galveston. But it just seems too risky.
Yeah.
Right now.
Man, you know, I think the best time to buy residential rentals was 20 years ago. Yeah. Like, I find it tough right now. Like, you look at a deal where it's like, okay, here's a house that's 1,700 square feet. I can get 2,200 or so rent for it. Something like that. I mean, depending on where it is. I mean, say you get 2,500, like a pretty good premium for it. You look at what you're paying in taxes. You look at what you're paying in insurance. If you lose an AC unit, if you have something, you have a couple months vacancy, like, there goes your profit.
You will not get rich off of rental properties.
No. It's not. Like I say, though, if you bought I was 10 years too young for that. So, like, 2007, 2008, if you bought them for half off, okay, you're probably killing it now. But my thought on all that is I feel like Trump. The three most beautiful words: triple net lease.
Yeah, the commercial.
You look at commercial, dude. You buy the asset, they lease it from you, and it's like they own it, but they don't. You do. So they pay the taxes, they pay the insurance, they maintain it. The AC goes out, it's on them. I bought a building over in Dickinson, and I learned a lot of lessons doing that deal because
I think I seen you. Did you just sell it, or
I did sell it?
You sold it,
yeah.
Okay, I seen that one.
And I bought it. I got a good deal on it, and I put it up for lease and put it up for sale, and it just was sitting and sitting and sitting. So, like, the first thing I learned was, like, location is absolutely key. It was just not in a very good location. It was like halfway between 45 and 146, kind of a little too far from both, not in like a real business hub area. But ended up, I sold it and ended up owner financing it, and it's going to be fine. But now I'm like, okay, a couple things. I need a better area and I need a bigger deal, because when I had it for lease, I was getting like these little tenants that, you know, hey, I don't have enough for the deposit. Could you take half now and half later, and stuff like that?
Yeah. I've noticed that on the residential side too, because I hold some like long-term, just regular old 3-bedroom, 2-bath, cookie cutter houses. And every single one that I own that is under $2,500 in rent a month, $2,225, everything under that, they're all problem children. Every single one.
So, like, what are some of the realities that people don't think about when they're like, oh, I want to buy a rent house?
Oh, well, I think the most important thing is that you buy right, because if you're buying a single family house as a rental, and you're paying full price for this house, you're already way behind the game, right? Because when you buy these houses, I mean, you want to buy them with 20, 30% equity in them, right? Because these people, it's not their house. They don't really respect it, right? You're going to have turnover. You're going to have maintenance. You're going to have problems, and you need to have the equity in that house to survive.
Yeah.
Right? Because
if you need to get out of it.
If you need to get out of it, right? Because, I mean, I have one right now, right? I think I bought this house in, I think I've owned it for 6 months now. I haven't seen a dime from it. I'm having to drag somebody through eviction court, you know, and like the rental on that one is $1,600 a month, you know, and it is, thank God I've got equity in the property, because I'm going to dump it when I get them out here. I'm out, you know, going to have to do repairs, all the lost rent, you know, you just got to be prepared to roll with the punches, especially on single family housing. You need to buy right. That's the most important. If
you have a day job, just don't, like, I've had several situations where I have friends who they decide to lease out their house, and they're calling me a year later. Hey, we finally got them out. Come put your sign in the yard.
It's a mess.
Dude, I had one where like the kids finger painted on the wall. Then they move out and just leave all the crap they don't want.
Yeah.
I've seen it, man. Like, and then, but I'm not saying that it's all bad. Like, I know one friend of mine who's had the same tenant in his house since 2018. The dude pays like clockwork. There's zero trouble, and it's great.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I've got a couple that we forget we even own them.
Right.
You know, they're so I don't want to discourage anybody from buying it, because I do think, you know, for the right person, it's a really good avenue for investing. But man, just right now more than ever, you got to be careful of the way that you're buying and what you're paying for these properties, and, you know, location's a big part of it that I'm learning now, because I bought in some of these, you know, lower income areas, and it's just not worth it.
You know, I was looking at the Galveston County foreclosure list, and you can see all the properties that are coming up foreclosure. So I see one in my neighborhood. So I was like, so I look it up, and like, it's a nice house, has a pool, all this stuff. And the guy had a bunch of, I mean, he bought it in like 2007. And I'm like, you know, how sad is it that this guy is going to just give his house away that he's been paying a mortgage on for 20 years? So I was like, I'm going to call him and just offer to try to help him. So I call him. The moment I said the word with EXP Realty,
I'm out.
You mother effer, blah, 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 you're trying to take advantage of me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, if you would just stop and listen, I'm trying to help you. He was like, shove it up your blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right. I just said, all right, dude. All right. But my point was like, why would he not just list the home and sell the home and make $100,000?
That's a great question, because I talk to a lot of these, you know, like distressed situations, right? And, you know, they might have 100, 150 in equity, and they literally just want to give it away.
I don't get it. But they're not in the right mindset. A lot of them have had tough times, bad things have happened. They're just not in that mindset.
And some people, I mean, there's definitely some people out there that shouldn't own real estate. Like, it's just matter of fact.
Yep.
Right. But some people, they don't want to deal with it. Right. You know, loss in the family, inherited, or whatever. You know, I want out.
Yep.
You know, just get me what you can. I want out, and I want out now. You know, and they will walk away from six figures like that. It blows my mind too.
That's where I was like, if you would just, he was so mad at the world about this thing. I was like, dude, if you would just listen to me for 1 minute, like, I could make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
You could go get an apartment. You could get back on your feet. Why not?
Baffles me too. I don't get it. I see it all the time. Even like, it's not, you know, even on market properties, you know, people that are fine, you know, some of them, they don't really care to make a bunch off of it. You know, they just want out.
Yeah. And then, you know, in this market, then sometimes you have the opposite problem where people get caught in a trap of, you know, I mean, like, when you watch the market, especially say if you're, you know, I'm 36. So say if you bought your first house in 2008, 2009, you stayed in it till 2020, you got 2.5 times what it was worth. You bought a new house, then that went up $100,000. So you've just seen this market just inject steroids. Just get, dude, crazy run, right? Like, generational run. And then you have a realtor tell you, like, well, I know the house next door sold for $550, but it's a down market, and like, we really need to be at about $525. Like, they do not, some people do not want to hear that. And this is a market where you can, a lot of times it comes down to, do you really want to sell? Because a lot of times it's like, you're going to sell, or you're going to like sit there trying to get your price.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. You know, like, are you serious about selling or not? Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, your house is really only worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
That's it. And, you know, I have a deal going on right now where it's a seller who, you know, I have the buyers, and it's an off-market deal, and he's saying, like, I have an appraisal for this, but he bought it for like substantially less than that. And I'm like, man, like, that's cool and all, but at the end of the day, an appraisal is, I'm not saying that they're not accurate, but sometimes they can only be as good as the market was at that time.
Yeah.
And the appraiser, and like what kind of day he was having, and like how long he was
the comps that they're pulling. And are you having appraisal problems right now?
I've had a couple this year. I had one fall 3,000 short. and then another one that was like, it wasn't anything crazy, but yeah, but it was just a deal where he was like, well, it was a divorce situation, and like I got it for super cheap, and I'm like, okay, but you just bought, and he just bought the house like 8 months ago. I'm like, so the best comp here is your own comp.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, like it's a weird situation like that where, where did that appraiser get that number? I don't see it. And what are they going to say this time around? They're going to look at, okay, it just sold for this.
Yeah. We have been having, it seems like, more appraisal problems than I have in like the last 2 or 3 years, especially on multifamily.
Yeah.
Multifamily, I'm trying to think. I think probably closed like 6 or 7 of them this year, and I would say 75% of the multifamilies came in low.
Now, are they looking at like P&Ls on that?
No, this is 1 to 4 unit.
Oh, 1 to 4.
Yeah, 1 to 4 unit. Yeah. So something's going on with the multifamily market where, I mean, they're coming in like really low. We had one come in 55,000 low, another 25,000 low.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm just wondering, like in your market for the single families, because I have had a couple single families like in my immediate market come in low, not by much, 3,000-4,000. We can work it out, right? But I'm just wondering, like, if you're seeing,
last year I had one come. It was a jumbo, so it was 2 appraisals. Mm-hmm. It was a $1.3 million purchase. I had one of the appraisals came in at 1.2, and the other came in at 1.287. So 2 different appraisals, $87,000 swing.
yeah.
So like that just goes to show you how much error there can be.
Right.
Like there's going to be a margin for error in anything a human being is doing, right? So it wasn't like a huge surprise, but I fought tooth and nail. I really dissected the appraisal, and they had made a few mistakes, and we ended up making it work. But I mean, yeah, it was $100,000 on one of them because they go with they usually will go with the lower one, right? So that was like, oh, dude, and we had fought. That was one of the tougher deals I've ever done. Just so many moving parts. That listing had sat on the market for almost a year up to that point. But that's funny you say that about multifamily. I'm in the middle of one right now, or I was in the middle of it. The contract just fell out. And that was an 8-unit deal.
Through appraisal?
No.
Just outside factor. I got you. I got you.
Yeah. It was a lot of different, I don't even want to get into it, but and bore the people with it. But, that's like a P&L thing. Like, okay, you show me the tax returns for it. How much money, like what's the return on it?
Yeah,
so,
commercial deal.
It's a commercial deal, yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, like what are your buyers saying? Like, are they, do they feel pinched? Are they they can't get into that bracket of home? Like what are they saying?
They're defaulting to, they'll find something that they like, and they want to feel like they're getting a deal.
Okay.
Which I understand. Like in a down market, you have leverage, and a home's been on the market for 30 days, for sure. So, but then you have the seller that's like, I know, my neighbor said it's worth this, or I know what it's. So, like I said, you come to a gap. Like I'm on one right now. We're on a $10,000 gap.
Yeah. On
a $900 and something thousand house. So yeah, I mean that's how things are right now. And buyers are correct, because when you have a situation where you have a record low amount of transactions happening, that would be a record buyer's market. You would like, that makes sense in my head, right?
Yeah.
So like, to want a deal in a buyer heavy market where you're paying higher interest rates, higher prices, values aren't shooting up like they were, I totally understand where they're coming from.
Yeah. So are you noticing like these like 350 and below, is there anything going on with those buyers, like having problems qualifying or dealing with these payments? Or
not that has to do with the market. I think you, and in that, at that price point, you know, you either kind of have a good job that you've worked at for a while or not. Yeah. Like it comes down to the person on that type of thing.
Yeah. I feel like that's where most of my bit is like the 350 and below. Like that seems to be where the problem lies. Mm-hmm. You know, they're just having a hard time with swallowing this monthly payment.
Yep.
You know, but once you know, for whatever reason, you get up in these bigger deals, it's just not as much of a.
I've found that my clients, the wealth gap is like people are either buying a $350,000 house and they've been working and saving and they qualify now and they have this nest egg that they are buying a house with and they're buying the house.
Yeah.
Or people are either like balling out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like one or the other.
Yeah.
Like
those
people
deals are just boom, they're so easy.
Yeah.
You know, they're done.
Yeah. You know, $10,000 difference on $1 million house versus a $300,000 house is two different things.
It's huge.
But people have just gotten so rich over the past like 6-7 years. Like if you had, say you were a 50-year-old guy with $3 million in the stock market in 2018, here we are 8 years later, mm-hmm. It's gone up. The Dow's at 51,000. So like, yeah, people are, and what happens when people get money? They buy houses.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just widening, right? They're getting further and further apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, it's pretty trippy. So there's a Bible verse. This blew my mind. So like, there's a Bible verse. I forget what book it was, but it's something to the effect of like, to those who have much, more will be given, and to those who have very little, everything will be taken away. But think about it. You have $1 million in an account accruing interest, it just snowballs. It's just bigger, unreal. bigger.
Yeah.
You have $1,000 in there and you're making 10% a year. Oh, you got $1,100. Oh, then you got $1,220. Like it takes forever to get from zero to, but like once you have that, they always say your first 100,000 is like
the hardest. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, you know, the million's like inevitable. It's coming.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's an interesting verse.
Right?
Yeah.
Like as I've gotten older, I've kind of dove into the principles of that, of the just different things in the Bible like that. It's like, that's what made them write that down.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
so I guess most of your buyers, it's just like conventional financing. Y'all don't you don't have any type of like creative financing deals that y'all have to do?
The last creative deal I did was a list. Well, it was my listing, and it was a guy who had his own business, and the books were not organized.
Sure.
Oh my God, that thing dragged on for 3 or 4 months, and they eventually got it done. No, I mean, yeah, create conventional and FHA. Mm-hmm. Some I do a VA, 1 or 2 a year VA.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, historically though, dude, I've been more of a listing agent.
Yeah, that's the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this year and last year, I was way more buyer heavy than normal, which I don't know if that's everybody, but I just find that, you know, the buyers that want to buy in this market are going to go out there and be aggressive and get it done.
They'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The listing side's probably tough.
It's super tough right now.
Yeah.
Like it's to a point where like, I had one in Deer Park last year. It was like, this lady is like meticulous. The house was spotless. It's always spotless. It always smells like lavender. I was like, oh, this is easy. This is going to be easy. We had one showing in like 2 months.
Really?
And then she was like, I'm just going to wait. So
it's tough.
It's really tough because I got used to that. Again, like everybody else, the COVID market where you
just throw it up there
and then you pick which offer you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we were talking about it on our coaching call the other day. You have to have about twice the amount of listings as you normally would to sell the same amount of them.
So where do you think we're headed?
I think
like 3 to 5 years. Where do you think we're headed?
Take this with a grain of salt.
I know.
Okay. So the war's over. I think rates need to very gradually come down, like over the next 3 years, I would say. We don't want inflation to spike. If we can get rates down, and with AI coming into the marketplace, I think the stock market this is an injection of new money into the economy. AI is supposed to add like $20 trillion to our economy. It's going to make it so much easier for people to make money, and margins are going to be so much bigger because of AI. And what do people do when they get rich? They buy homes. Yeah. When money is flowing and everybody is doing well, homes sell. So do I think we're going to see like another housing boom? I don't know. I think it's going to kind of slide and gradually go back into what I hope. I don't even want like a crazy market like that. I want a balanced market.
Back to normal.
If we could get rates, if we could put rates at 5.5 and hold them there forever, I would check that box.
I would take that
all
day of the week.
All day.
Yeah. Because I feel like you're back in a normal market.
Dude, 2017 when I got in the game, oh God. You got a listing, it would sell. You had a buyer, you could find them a house. I remember writing on that third-party financing addendum, 5.25, 5, 4.9.
I'm still getting some people in the 5s right now.
On a 15?
No, on a 30.
Really?
I can get a 5 handle on a 30-year. Now, I might have to, cut some comp here and there, but I can get it down to that. But, yeah, I think if, like the national average, right, everybody's looking at the news. If they start seeing a 5 handle on there.
It's so psychological, dude.
It is.
So, like, if the news showed up today and was like, what is the national average right now? Like 6.25?
It's probably a little higher than that today, but yeah, that's close.
So say if it went from 6.3 to 6.1, but all the news headlines said rates plunge,
your phone would not stop ringing.
It's so psychological.
And what's crazy too is like, especially on smaller deals, even, a quarter, half a point, the payment's $50 cheaper.
Yeah.
And it's all up here. And the news says, now's a good time to buy. Call your agent, call your mortgage person, go buy a house. And the floodgates open. I was
working yesterday and my computer will pop up little news things for some reason. And it was like, so-and-so, some guy with some housing new, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like an authority in the industry, some website, optimistic about housing rebound in 2026. I was like, wow, that's the first time I've seen anything like that in a while.
Positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the news cycle is so, like younger people we kind of get our news on the phone and like on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
But my she's 91 and she watches literally the news every evening. So like, it's just interesting to see the differences there.
Yeah, I barely watch it. I get a lot of information from right here.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do think we're headed in the right direction.
It can't get worse. Literally. Like we never ever get below 4 million transactions and we're at what did it say? 4.0 something?
Yeah, like close to 4.1.
Like
something like that.
Like it can't, I mean, I guess it could, but it never has before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, new federal administration. Yeah, I think the war kind of threw a kink in things because we were really heading in the right direction until that happened.
I was singing those songs all year last year.
I thought it was coming.
Yeah,
I thought it was coming. And then the rug just kind of, pulled out from under.
And it was like,
but that's a really good point. Like if you are thinking about buying a house or selling a house, it's pretty important to pay attention to the news, right? Because we have these days where, we will have these swings where, rates will be down 0.5 point in a day, and they'll go back off of a news headline the next morning.
Or they'll so I watch the stock market every day.
Yeah.
Trump will come out and say one thing.
Tweet.
Pew,
yeah.
And then he'll say one other thing. Whoop, then it pops right back up.
I was buying stocks off of Trump tweets for a little while. I'm not kidding you.
Don't blame you.
Yeah. and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it's the same with these mortgage rates. You know, these investors, they start to feel comfortable, you know, and one day you'll have these crazy swings. That's just right now. You know, you'll have these peaks and valleys, and, you know, these payments will swing by $100 here, 250, you know, and so it's like, it can get very, very hectic on those days. I'm calling everybody, hey, like, you got to lock in today. You know, your payment just got $250 better. Like, today's the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but then you, like for you, it can be tough sometimes. I'm sure you have some clients that are like, call you like, hey, should I lock? And you're like, like it's hard to make that call sometimes.
Yeah. Really, like what I do, and this has helped a lot, I really put the ball in their court, right? And my saying is, if you like it, lock it. Yeah. You know, because we're in a 30-day window, right? From when you go under contract to close typically. And it's just, you know, your upside just doesn't outweigh the down, right? You know, if the bottoms do fall out of rates, yeah, you might get a quarter point better. And if you're lucky, you know, half a point, right? But what you're risking is, you know, a 50 basis point swing in a day. Then you call me and you're mad. And you're like, oh, why didn't you tell me this? You know, blah, 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 blah. So I put the ball in their court and I say, hey, you know, like, here's where you're at today, and here's what you risk if you don't lock.
Yeah.
You know, and here's where rates are compared to the last 30 days.
Well, you know, one thing I'll have buyers tell me, you know, they'll come to me and say, hey, we're thinking about buying a house, da, 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 da. We're shopping around to see which lender will give us the best rate.
Yeah. It's an everyday question.
Right. And it's like, that's not, it's not like the lender, I think some people think that you, like, whenever I'm coming to get pre-approved to you, that you're setting the rate for me.
Yes and no. So